in the English language. Not words which begin with the letter V, which is labiodental, labio, right? Because the lip and the teeth are coming together. So I want you to say after me words which begin with the letter W. The pronunciation, the speech sound, it's a frictionless continuant, a glide. W. So do we have watch? Do we have wander? Do we have wonderful? Wonderful? You don't have to make it wonderful, but you're certainly saying wonderful, wander, want, wish. It's important for you to make it a rounded u followed by an a. That is what creates w. So what is it? It's a frictionless continuant or a glide. What are we trying to do in this chart, my dear students? We are trying to describe the consonants of the English language. Okay? So we have 24 consonants in the English language. I have here for you the phonetic symbols. Remember? The universally accepted phonetic alphabet of the English language. Some of them are the same as the letters of the English language. Some of them have symbols. Symbols, I'm calling them, though even M as it is here is a symbol, but it is the same as the letter M in the English language. So with P and B, so with T and D. But if you come further down, let's take it one at a time. So if you look at M, it is a nasal bilabial. Please notice that we have horizontal and vertical descriptions. Okay? So the place of articulation is bilabial, labiodental, dental, alveolar, and so on. Whereas the manner of articulation is nasal, plosive, affricate, fricative, lateral, and approximants, or what we called frictionless continuant. So what are we doing? Let's look at the nasal, for example. I told you that there are 3 nasal sounds in the English language. M, N, Ng. So what is M? It's a bilabial nasal. What is N? It's an alveolar nasal. You'll have to go back, my dear students, to our first chart. Remember? The inside of the mouth. Take out your book, prescribed book, which is probably Bansal and Harrison. Open that book and you will see that you have that inside of your mouth diagram. And now, when we say alveolar, you know what exactly I'm talking about. And then we have the sound ng. M, N, Ng. All 3 of them are nasals. That is the manner of articulation. But the place of articulation is different. So when you describe a consonant sound, you will have to talk about whether it's voiced or voiceless. You'll have to talk about manner of articulation, place of articulation first, and then manner of articulation. Can we see the chart again? Look at it clearly to see what I'm talking about. The chart shows you how. You have M, N, Ng. You have P, B, T, D, K, G. All of them are plosives. P, B, T, D, K, G. Then you have affricates, Ch and J. Remember, I told you about symbols. What happens when you have a word like chair, which begins with CH, and you also have a word like chorus, which begins with CH? But in chair, the pronunciation of CH is Ch, and in chorus, the pronunciation of CH is K. So what are we doing in this universal phonetic alphabet? We are trying to have symbols so that whenever you see this symbol, you know that the sound. We are not worried about the letter, CH as chair or chorus. Because when I see this symbol, which you are seeing in the affricate, when you're seeing it in the palato-alveolar affricate, Ch and J. Ch and J. right? So what are we seeing there? That whenever the sound j comes, the symbol will be this. If you look at it as a symbol, you will say D followed by Z, but that's not how we are going to remember it. We are going to remember it as j. And I would like here to think of the word, you to think of the word judge. Think of the word judge as you write it in the English language today. J-U-D-G-E. So if the first j is the letter J, the second j, sound j, is D-G. How am I going to be able to pronounce it correctly if I have different letters for the same sound? So what does the phonetic alphabet help us in doing? In writing judge with the same j symbol twice. And when I talk of ch, when I write chair, I'll be writing this. But when I write chorus, I will be writing the velar plosive. Have you got that? The k and the g. Velar plosives. One voiced and one voiceless. So these symbols will help me to know the pronunciation of words when I see them. When I see them, I mean when I see the spelling. But I can't because the sound does not correspond one-to-one with the spelling. So what do I need to do? I need to write it with the phonetic symbol. If you have a good dictionary, any good dictionary, you will notice that before the meaning of the word, there will be the phonetic pronunciation. That is, the pronunciation of the word will be given with phonetic symbols. So if I go to the letter J in my dictionary and look at J-U-D-G-E, which I know is pronounced judge because I've been taught, because I've learnt it and have been teaching it, I will know that the pronunciation in the phonetic transcription will make it much easier by having the sound j. What is the symbol? I just showed you, DZ. And then I will have a. And the symbol for a is the inverted V, as in cup, not you, because you would be what? U. So you will have j, and then the short the and then the j again. So you get what I'm saying, my dear students? Why you need to understand and know and learn the phonetic symbols so that we get our pronunciation right. But we are talking about describing the consonants, and therefore you will have to describe each consonant with 3 words. Number 1, whether it's voiced or voiceless. Number 2, the place of articulation. Number 3, the manner of articulation. So if we go back to p and b, voiced, bilabial, plosive. Voiceless, bilabial, plosive. That's the way we'll be describing it. Let's go back to the chart again and see. What do we have now? We've got fricatives, which are f, v, and then 2 symbols. Thin, and then. Th and the. Thin and then. Those are the 2 symbols. And what about the alveolar fricatives? You've got s and z. S as in sun. And my dear students, let me tell you, s as in city. Because it's not the letter C that we are looking at now. We are hearing, we are listening, and therefore the sound there is s. So I'll be writing city. And I will not be writing Y at the end. I'll be writing E. Well, we'll have to go back to the vowel sounds to see what is the symbol for E. So what do we have here in fricative? The first one is labiodental, where we've got f and v, which I already talked to you about. We've got th and the, and then we've got s and z. Z as in zoo, zip, zone, zero, zoology. S as in sun, some, but not so. as in shape, because when you come to palateo-alveolar fricative, you will see that we have got sh and zh. A little difficult, the second one. Sh is easy because Indian languages have sh. So you've got sh as in ship, as in shape, as well as in station. When you say station, the shun at the end, though we write T-I-O-N, has sh. So you will be writing this symbol. And the second symbol, the second one, palato-alveolar fricative, is zh. Difficult for us because Indian languages do not have that sound. And the sound is zh, as in pleasure, treasure. Go on, you can think of more. Measure, vision, leisure, etc. So zh. So what do we have now very quickly? Mananga, paba, tada, kaga, chaja, fervor, tada, saza, sh, zh. And then we come to the glottal fricative, which is her. Again, you'll have to go back to your textbooks and look at the glottis. Where is it? Deep down in your throat. When you say her, you know where exactly the sound is coming from. Much deeper in the throat. Let's come to the lateral alveolar. There's only one lateral sound, and that is L. Then we come to the approximants, or what we call frictionless, right? Frictionless continuants. And you have W, R, Y. The letter J as a phonetic symbol refers to the sound Y. Remember, we've already got that J there. If you look at the chart, the third, the palato-alveolar affricate, we've got ch there. And we've got j there. So, the letter J in the symbol is Y. So, when we talk of the letters of the alphabet, we will say A, B, C, D, E, F. But when we talk about the sounds of the English language, we will be saying M, N, Ng, not M, N. M, N, Ng. The velar nasal, there is no letter in the English alphabet, but the sound is there. And what is the sound? The sound at the end of words like song, bring, thing, ng, right? So that is the symbol for the sound ng. In a way, it's a combination of n and g, and that is why you have the symbol ng. So, can we now try and understand what is happening in the production of these sounds? Bilabial sounds, p, b, m. Sounds are produced with the two lips. Labiodental sounds. Sounds produced with the lower lips and the upper front teeth. Dental sounds. Sounds produced with the contact of the tip of the tongue and the upper front teeth. You remember, I've already described it to you. So you've got the dental here, so you know what they are, the and the. Can you quickly try and get a mental image of this so that when we go to the next exercise, you know what we have to do? Alveolar sounds produced with the contact of the tip of the tongue and the alveolar ridge. Palatal sounds, velar sounds, glottal sounds, right? So you've got a description of all the sounds from the place of articulation. What you need to do is to remember this chart. When you used to prepare for a geography class in school and you had to draw the rivers of India, maybe you knew where exactly the Brahmaputra or the Ganga or the Yamuna was because you had a mental image of the map of India. I would suggest that you have to use that same kind of ability to create a mental map, a map in your mind, so that you will be able to describe the consonants as you see them described in this chart. Bilabial, plosive. Which one is it? You should be able to, even with your eyes shut, tell me. Alveolar, fricative. Velar, plosive, and so on. It could be a game. You could play it with your friends to see who has learnt this chart well. So you have the place of articulation, bilabial, labiodental, dental, alveolar, palatal, velar, glottal. And you have the manner of articulation, plosives, fricatives, affricates, nasals, laterals, glides. I want you to once again understand what actually happens, because then it becomes easier to remember. So a plosive, which is also called a stop, because for some time you stop. B, b, t, d. Sounds in which the air is completely blocked. What happens in fricatives, as in f and v, s and z? Sounds in which the air escapes with difficulty. What happens in affricates? Sounds that are combined with the nature of plosives and fricatives. What happens in nasals? Nasals, air escapes through the nostrils. What happens in laterals? What happens in glides? Remember, you can't learn these by heart. You have to understand why it is called that. Why is it called a stop? Because air is. Why is it called a fricative? Why is it called an affricate? You will have to understand that and then try and describe the consonants. Because remember, what we are trying to do in this lecture is to learn to describe the speech sounds of the English language. So come on, read after me. Let us quickly practice the sounds. Pin, sup, leper, pat, pine, pale. Bin, bat, bale, best. The last two words have been interchanged. That's no problem. You can always read pale, pest, and bale, best. Tin, letter, butt, tail, test. Notice that what I've tried to do, what has been done in this chart, is to give you sounds both at the beginning of the word, the middle of the word, and the end of the word. So you've got din, sad, bud, dine, kin, suck, buck, cat. What are we doing? We are looking at the sound k. The next one, what are we doing? We are looking at the sound g. Bug, gate, gale, guest. Chin, such, lecher, chat, chest. We're looking at the sound ch. Gin, gin, ledger, budge, jail, jest. I want you to notice that the sound j can have the letter G, can have the letters D and G, can have the letters J. Good fun to practice. Some, mat, mine, male, sun, bun, nine, nail, nest, sung. Ng, notice, never comes in as the first letter, as the first sound. You cannot begin